What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make one of the easiest herbal remedies you can make. It is a very simple way to pull the medicinal value out of the plants and get it into your body. Today we're going to make an herbal infusion. I am often asked what is the easiest way to get started into herbalism, and I always answer with infusions. Infusions are basically a tea. A lot of people are familiar with tea and how to make it. The only difference is that most people are over boiling their plant material. So with an herbal infusion, your goal is not to boil the crap out of your plant material, but it's actually just bring the water to a boil, and then you're going to reduce it to a simmer and steep the plant material in a simmering hot water. So what you're going to need for your herbal infusion is you're going to need water. I'm a big fan of distilled water, so distilled it is for me. You're going to need your choice of plant material. Today we're going to make two different infusions. I'm going to make a weight loss infusion, and then I'm going to make an immunity infusion. And the immunity blend is something that I take every single day. It's fantastic. So I wanted to show you both different blends. The procedure itself is simple, and nothing gets better than simple, right? It's extremely easy. Most of you have all of the ingredients you already need to do it at home by yourself. And all you need is some plant material to get started. Now, infusions are great for the flower of the plant and the leaf. So some people say it's all aerial parts of the plant. It's actually not the best for stems. Stems take more of a decoction, or later on I'm going to do another video on how to use the stems in a water-based decoction, and we can talk about that later. But for an herbal infusion, you really want to use the flowers of the plants or the leaves. Now you can use the stems, don't get me wrong. You can even use roots. And then some of these, I do use roots. You need to make sure they're crushed pretty good when you're going to use them, and make sure to steep for a little bit extra long. So you're going to need a mug. I have two beautiful mugs here. We're going to need a mug or a tight container, or a container with a tight lid. That works just as well. I'm going to use a mug and then set a coaster on top of it. It works just as great. The point is to get your water hot enough to pull out the medicinal value of the plant material. Now people ask me, why don't you boil it? Why don't you want to continue to boil it? Well, it actually gets rid of some of the oils that you need in order to start the medicinal process and to kickstart it into your body. So over boiling is actually an issue. When we make decoctions later on, it's never at a boil. You're going to bring it to a boil and then reduce to a simmer, because if you do it for too long, you're taking out the medicinal value of the material itself, and that's not good. So we're going to get started, and I've got water boiling or starting to boil over there on the stove, and we start with the plant material itself. So you'll need your mug. We're going to start with the immunity. In this immunity blend, this is a Graham Farm blend. I've got red clover, yarrow, moving close so hopefully you can see some of that, red clover, yarrow, calendula, echinacea, white willow, mullein, and peppermint. So that's what I've included in this immunity blend. It's a fantastic blend to support the immune system. I drink it every day, and especially this time of year, all of those ingredients have a space in your life. So the ratio is about 1 ounce plant material to 2 cups water. That's a normal infusion amount. I actually usually just do 1 cup water to about 1 ounce of plant material. Hopefully you can see what I put in there. So I've got my plant material in there, and this is going to be a mug, so maybe about 1 cup. So I pour in my plant material. I go get my water. It's not quite boiling yet, so I want to make sure it's boiling. Now there's a difference between your water boiling before you place it in the mug and putting the material in a pot of boiling water and boiling the crap out of it for 15 minutes. You're not going to want to do that. So get your water to a boiling point here, and then when you actually pour it into the mug, it's not going to be at that boiling point. It's going to be to simmer and below. A couple options you have on the plant material. Yes, I just poured mine straight in, and that's because I have this fantastic device. This is a strainer straw, and it is a miracle worker. I love strainer straws. If you don't have one, you can always use a tea ball, put your plant material directly into the tea ball, or you can put it in the cup, infuse it like we'll discuss, and then you can strain it later with the sieve. So lots of different options there. But I've got my plant material in my cup. I'm going to grab my boiling water, which is boiling really nicely right now. And I'm going to carefully just pour it over my plant material. I say carefully and I pour it all over my counter, right? Goodness gracious. Okay. Now, since I'm going to wait a second before I do the second one, I thought I'd turn down my stove. All right, so you pour it all the way over your plant material. I mean, I don't know how much of that you can really see, right? It's poured over the material. And then you're going to put on your lid and let it simmer. So it's going to simmer for 10 minutes. That's the infusion time that I think is the sweet spot. So 10 minutes. You'll let it infuse and do its thing. Let's go ahead and start the second one. So in my weight loss tea blend, it's really funny because in this blend, there are a lot of culinary herbs, and most people do not realize just how important it is to season your food. It's not just for the flavor. There are a lot of herbs out there that we use as culinary herbs and for spices and things like that have proper functioning in your body. I mean, you've got receptors for them and they really work wonders with your body. And so it's going to be funny when I read off the list of herbs that I put in my weight loss tea blend, because you're going to say, I eat that every night. Well, eat more of it. It'll have its natural weight loss effects on your body. So the herbs that I put inside my weight loss tea, see if you can actually get a good picture of it. So I've got burdock root, and yes, that is a root, but I crushed that sucker really good in here. Ginger, oregano, dandelion leaf, cinnamon, peppermint, spearmint, parsley, which is one of my favorites, garlic, and rosemary. So yes, I know you heard a ton of culinary herbs in that bunch, and they are fantastic for weight loss. So make sure if you never want to do anything with herbs other than just eat them, because there's an area for that, use these herbs to help your body do the natural stimulation that it takes to get rid of that extra fat. All right, I'm going to turn it up a little bit because I see that it's not all the way to boil. I'll turn it up. Now I'm going to pour in about, like I said, about an ounce. I just kind of put it all in there. And you can double steep too. Say you have a lot of herb in your cup, you drink it, and then you're like, that was a super flavorful one. Do it again. Pour boiling water on there again. You can extract a lot of medicinal value out of a small amount of plant material. All right, so I've got about this much inside. And like I said, I've got about a cup here. And a normal infusion is 2 cups. So I think in general, you're able to do a double steep if you use this ratio. Okay, so I'm going to pour in my boiling water. Pour it straight in. That one wasn't any better. I'm getting it all over the counter again, but it doesn't matter. I'll clean it up later. Just fill your cup up. Turn off your stove. Sometimes I forget that. And then I'm going to grab, if you have a lid for your container, put the lid on. I'm grabbing a coaster. It's the same thing. And you are going to put the lid on and let it do its thing. No stirring involved as you're waiting for it to combine and become well married together. Now, this one is not ready yet. It hasn't been 10 minutes, but I'm going to show you what I would do with the strainer straw and then how you would use a sieve. So let me grab my sieve. You don't have to use a tea ball if you don't have one. You could use a sieve, and then I would also put a coffee liner in there. I would also do that because the goal is to not have plant material in your mouth. Some people do like to eat it. I'm not the biggest fan of eating burdock root. It's not the crunchy just doesn't really get me. So strain it with a sieve or use a tea ball, right? And you'd have your tea ball in your cup. Then you pour the water in there. It would still do its thing, and then you just drink it with the tea ball sitting in there. This is even better. It is a straw. It's fantastic. So I can literally and it's going to strain it for me. No plant material in my mouth. I absolutely love that. So we're getting close to the 10-minute mark for the first one, and all you would do with it is I would stick my straw in. And you can see, a lot of the material is looking good. Like that clinch is looking good stuff. And you'll just put your straw in, and you can drink it just like that. So good luck. I hope that you try an herbal infusion. It is very simple, and it'll help you pull the medicinal value out of the plants. Good luck and good health.